Yeah, messed up. I think I got intro music for this. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I don't. If I didn't, just hear me hum. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the Av Files Side Quest. I'm your host, Av, obviously. On this episode, I'm going to take a look at the Mandela effect. What's the Mandela effect? Well, some say it's a conspiracy theory, others say it's proof of other dimensions or even a multiverse. But what it is for certain is that the Mandela effect is a phenomenon that affects large groups of people all over the world and of all ages. And who finds that some of their memories are completely wrong. It's basically used to describe a false memory, and it's left people questioning reality or even themselves. These people remember things one way or certain events, but later on, those events or the way they remember certain things have been changed without their knowledge for whatever reason, and they don't know by whom or for what purpose. But is there really a purpose to changing all these things? Who knows? Maybe. Now, if you ask people about this, some may say yes, they have experienced it, while others may just dismiss it or say they never heard of it, but it's just a bunch of bullshit. One of the very first instances, and this is where it gets his name, is the death of Nelson Mandela. Many people remember him being locked in prison, but while he was in prison, they remember him passing away. But he was released and he passed away in 2013, a free man. So some people remember him. Everybody remembers him being locked up. Some people remember him dying while he was locked up. Other people remember him being released and then later on dying years later in 2013. So here's some more instances of the Mandela effect. The Wizard of Oz. And this one has a few different instances. The Wizard of Oz is considered one of the best musicals ever made, probably because it appeals to everyone of all ages, even now, even though it came out in 1939. And if you haven't seen the movie, just about everyone is familiar with the characters. Toto's got to be one of the most famous dogs ever, because everyone remembers Toto. Dorothy, the witch, the guy behind the curtain, and you get the Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, Scarecrow, right? I think that's three of them. I think that's all. So one of the Mandela effects was the title of the movie. Some people say the title of the movie is actually Wizard of Oz, not The Wizard of Oz. People took to the internet, tried to find any evidence of this, and they have actually found some. They say they found old books, some VHS tapes, and some merchandise. So is this the Mandela effect? Or is that more of the movie company just saying, "Hey, everyone's calling it The Wizard of Oz anyway, so we're just gonna throw it in there"? Could be. Tell me what you think. Just leave a comment. The second one has to do with a show that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of called the Flintstones. The Flintstones have been around for decades, and growing up, you probably also have heard of these characters or seen the show, maybe even watched the movie. The movie had John Goodman in it. Um, everyone remember. For the most part, I think a lot of people will know of the show, or the movie, and they know Fred and Barney, Betty, and Wilma. But the Mandela effect with this one is about the name. People say they remember the title of the show as the Flintstones, not the Flintstones, with that extra T in there. Again, people have gone online and tried to find proof of the different spelling, and one man said he has proof, an old VHS tape, but he hasn't shown anybody. He's never posted a picture of it, and I think that would probably stir up a whole big thing if he ever decided to do that. Which, I mean, if you have it, I think you should. I feel weird. I think it's weird if people say like, "Oh, I have proof." well, let's see. And they're like, no, we don't. I don't want to show anybody. I think that's kind of weird. But that doesn't stop people from being very convinced that for some reason, somehow, they changed the name. So could this be proof again of an altered reality, multiverse, another dimension? And would they say alter the name, not like later on, like I'm assuming the Wizard of Oz has? Uh, they're saying that when you watch the old original cartoons, that it actually says it's spelled differently. It's spelled as Flintstones, without that extra T in there, not Flint. It's actually Flint, I believe. So this one, well, okay, all right. So if you know about this one, leave a comment. Let me know because I'm curious also. Because to be quite honest, I don't think I really paid that close attention to the name of the show, or I mean, the spelling of the show. Guess I'd have to see. Anyway, so this one has to do with is a Disney one. Um, this one I've never heard of before, but some people actually believe this. People believe that the castle, this is Disney, the castle in California was Sleeping Beauty's castle, while the castle in Florida belonged to Cinderella. But people have claimed that in the past, both castles belonged to Cinderella. They claim to have visited both parks in the past, and both belonged to Cinderella. Um, I've never been to the one in California, so I can't. I don't have any. I don't know if it ever did belong to Sleeping Beauty. I just thought they both were Cinderella because everyone always called it Cinderella's Castle. So I always thought it was Cinderella's Castle. I thought they were both Cinderella's Castle. So again, like I said, I've never heard of these before. Another effect um, was the claim that the castle in Florida somehow moved. The claim is that the castle used to be located in the very front of the park, not at the end of Main Street. So what they're saying is the castle, after you'd go through the gate, give them a ticket or show them a ticket, whatever, go through there, that you would actually walk through the castle to actually get into the park. Um, and then somehow, some way, they're saying that this now, and they're not even sure like what year they moved it. Now they're saying that they, instead of being in the front, that they moved it into at the end of Main Street where it's located at now. I've been to the park a few times through my life, and each time I remember it being at the end of Main Street because I always remember people standing on Main Street taking pictures or having people take pictures of them or taking selfies, and the castle's behind them. I'll never remember it being in the front. Any pictures that I've ever seen, I've never seen it in the front of the park. I've always seen it more or less in the center at the end of Main Street, right? I believe it's pretty much like the center of the park almost. But some people believe that you would actually walk through it, and I would think that's kind of a that would probably like stop people. That it'd be real congested in the very front of the park, and it'd get kind of on, right. As soon as you walk in, everyone's trying to take pictures in there and everything, and so then there'd be like a mass group of people just standing there, and that would suck. So I think no, I don't think so. I don't believe that one. But I mean, hey, again, if you ever heard of that, you know, if you think that's possible, let me know. So go back to movies. So the movies, are everything's affected by the Mandela effect. Nothing's immune to it apparently. So Mandela effect has so many instances in movies, such as the movie Shazam with comedian Sinbad. He was playing a genie But come to find out, apparently this never happened, supposedly. He was never in that movie. Um, this one, to me, I have to say that I do. For some reason, I feel like I've seen it before. I feel like I've seen it at Daniel's house when he was younger. Like we watched it together. Um, but what a lot of people say is everyone that's thinking that is confusing that movie with the Shaquille O'Neal movie called Kazam. And all I have to say is, you're out of your fucking mind, because I know the difference between Shaq and Sinbad. To me, they don't look anything alike. Two different people. Okay. Two different people. So, uh, yeah, me personally, I feel like I've seen that movie before. Um, yeah. If anyone has, tell me so I don't feel like I'm alone. The lines of movies are also misquoted. People think it's said one way, but it's actually said differently. So take Field of Dreams, for example. The line a lot of people remember is, if you build it, they will come. But in reality, it said, if you build it, he will come. And the he they're referring to in the movie uh, is Kevin Costner's father. I guess the voice in it. I've seen the movie a long time ago. I don't remember it very well. I know it's a baseball movie. It's one of the, you know, I guess it's one of the great movies, but I don't, I, I remembered it as, if you build it, they will come. And um, it could just be, yeah, from other people saying it, and it just stuck in my head. And I'm sure it's happened to other people too, where they hear it one way and they're like, oh, that's how they say it. And it just gets stuck in your head that way. Could be, but I do remember it being, if you build it, they will come. But apparently I'm wrong. It's, if you build it, he will come. Also, in the movie The Empire Strikes Back, when Darth Vader's talking to Luke Skywalker, and he says, Luke, I am your father. What he actually says is, no, I am your father. Slight difference. I know some people are like, what? It's the same thing. Like, yeah, it's the same thing, but no, because people remember him saying, Luke, I'm your father. And I know that I've seen it in movies, in shows, and I've heard people say, Luke, I'm your father. But no, Luke's talking to him, and Vader goes, no, I am your father. He never says, Luke, I'm your father. I know it's a slight difference, still a Mandela effect, if you believe it. Now, these are just a few instances of the Mandela effect. There are plenty more in movies, TV shows, music is a big one. If you've ever experienced Mandela effect, or if you know of one, you have one that's maybe your favorite that you think is pretty interesting, let us know. Tell us in the comments. One, I didn't want to do the same ones that everyone always does. They always do like the Monopoly guy. They always do the Berenstain Bears. Um, Curious George. They always do those. I didn't want. I was want to stay away from those. Want something a little different. But Curious George apparently had a tail. I never remember Curious George with a tail. So some people do say, "Oh yeah, he had a tail." I don't remember it. But yeah, again, if you have a favorite Mandela effect, or if you've experienced Mandela effect, like you know of anything, let us know in the comments. And see the banner at the bottom? Do what it says. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Thank you for joining me on the side quest. Until next time, my peoples, peace.